My name is Susan Golubock. I'm an autistic retired occupational therapist, and I would like to discuss with you the topic of how to help autistic individuals handle change. Change is very difficult, and I'm going to try to explain why, and then what you can do to help them. Why is change so hard for autistic individuals? For one thing, research agrees repeatedly that inconsistency is the dominant difference in the way the autistic brain functions versus the non-autistic brain. You will see that the autistic individual often overreacts or underresponds. They may be overly verbal and have difficulty stopping. They may be unable to speak. Even those that have the ability for language may suddenly become mute. They can perform something spontaneously. You've seen them do it, but when you ask them to do it, they may look at you like, I don't know how, I don't know what you're asking. They are able to focus on details very intensely, and yet they can fail to see the big picture. All of this is because the connections that are needed to be able to do all of these things easily, automatically, are inconsistent. That is why autistics need and seek consistency and predictability. It's nothing different than when you have bad days, off days, and feel like nothing is going the way you expect it to do. And you yourself are going to be anxious to just get back to a normal routine. Find a day that you're back in balance. But if this is the way you experience every day, 24/7, yeah, you are going to want consistency and predictability because inconsistency is difficult to deal with. Behaviors that you will see when this need is not met, you're going to recognize anxiety, anger, resistance, even attempts to try to control other people because they want you to be consistent and predictable. Or you may see the individual actually work really hard to do what it is you want them to do. Or they may switch to wanting or becoming very overly dependent on other people to tell them what to do because it's so hard to figure out for themselves how to deal with things. So they'll become overly compliant, both of which can lead to burnout and shutdown. So how can you provide the consistency and predictability they need when change, especially predictable change, is occurring, such as holidays, family events, transitions every day at home and at school? How can you help them find consistency in what is even predictable changes? My solutions I will propose are helping them prepare, giving them opportunities for practice and repetition of what you expect from them, and hopefully giving them the motivation to actually look forward to change. Let's talk about preparing them for change. Simply warning them that a change is going to occur, such as in 5 minutes, we're going to have to leave for school. That's not enough. All that's going to do is create anxiety because they can't make the shift and think, now, what am I supposed to do during that time? You want to be able to use clocks and calendars as guides to help them over enough time that this is what is going to happen, but you also have to clue them into what is going to happen, i.e., in 5 minutes, we're going to need to leave for school. that means you need to put all your things back in a drawer, get your coat on, and that will mean you'll be ready. But give them a schedule. Now, what I'm suggesting would be, because research has also shown that autistics, the areas of the brain that are less well developed in autism are the auditory area, processing area, and the area for understanding what it is that you say. So it's much stronger way to prepare them using visuals. So if you can use pictures or even videos, use your smartphone. That's an easy assessment to show them and take pictures in advance of what it is they need to do. And then simply in 5 minutes, this is what's going to happen. And here's what you need to be ready. And you show them the picture so that they don't have to make the connections to recall what it is they're supposed to do or what it is you said. Modeling is another great visual tool of what they're expected to do. Say the holidays are coming up or a birthday celebration. Well, we're going to get a gift for this person and we're going to wrap it because that makes it fun to open. So let's, even here, create our wrapping paper and decorate it, get them involved and helping them to see what it is that's involved in the change so that they can see what you're telling them to do. Not just tell them we're going to wrap packages, show them, because that's more meaningful to them. And remind them of the strategies that will help them manage stress when they feel it, because change is stressful. So if you do worry about not doing it right, or that something unexpected is going to happen, remember, or there's loud noises because we're going to a birthday celebration, let's get ourselves ready by preparing with earphones, earplugs, a visor if the lights are too bright. Tap into what they may need to help them deal with the upcoming situations. And ideally give them a time frame and the order of what they can expect to happen. When we go to the birthday party, we're going to greet everyone. And it may be just a hi if it's your friends. It may be a hug if it's family. Prepare them for what's going to happen. And then we'll probably talk for a while. And during that time, you might play a game with your friends. Then have them say, okay, now we're going to open gifts, or we may have our cake and blow out the candles first. Prepare them for what you expect to happen and letting them know that there are exceptions. Sometimes changes will occur even though this is what we planned. Things don't always go the way we plan. Then you want to provide opportunities for consistent practice in making the change. So, for example, if they're preparing for a Thanksgiving dinner, you might create some practice sessions. Each night, we're going to set the table just like we're going to do when we have guests for dinner. And give them a chance to practice. If they're going to be greeting family versus friends, the greetings may be different. So give them a chance to practice so they're comfortable with what's going to be expected of them. Hugs may not be comfortable for them. So practice what they could do instead. That would be an acceptable greeting for the people that they're going to be greeting. Ideally, use your smartphone and videotape these little practice sessions, because then they're going to be able to get the repetition they need to feel really comfortable by just rewatching themselves practicing. You won't need to repeat the practice because they will have the opportunity to consistently watch themselves. You want to try to provide motivation to help them look forward to change instead of dreading it. And the best way is incorporate their special interests into the event. If you're going to have Christmas cookies and their special interests are dinosaurs, create some dinosaur cookies that they can share with other people in addition to the Christmas cookies. Give them an opportunity to show off their special interests, like wearing a special shirt that others can ask about because it has a saying on it, or a particular costume, as it were, if it were a birthday party, but that will draw attention to them and give them the opportunity to talk about something that's meaningful to them. Even if it's just their old familiar jeans, because that gives them comfort. Let them wear that to the event. Appeal to the senses they most enjoy. Oh, we're going to have food. Thanksgiving is a lot about food. And let them explore what smells they like. Let's bake those favorite cookies that you love the smell of and the taste of. Get them involved in preparing those things that have sensory meaning to them. That's going to help them be motivated to participate in the event that's coming up. Encourage them to play or share a favorite game that they may have with a peer or another adult that's going to be attending the event. By all means, point out to them a safe place they can go when they do feel a little overwhelmed and unsure what they can do. I have found that when the event is within my own home, of course, the bedroom is a safe place, my own space. But when you're out in other people's homes, the bathroom becomes the only realistic safe space, because most people are not going to follow you to the bathroom and talk through the bathroom door, which my autistic sister does. But it gives them and prepares them in advance. So, okay, if things everyone starts talking at once and it's too overwhelming for you, and the headphones don't work for you and everyone's moving around, head to the bathroom, take a break till you can and here's what you do in the bathroom to calm yourself down. And then when you're ready, you can rejoin us. That's really helping them to feel like I can be in control. I know what to do when things are difficult for me. So they don't dread it. They're prepared for it. Now, what about unpredictable changes like emergencies? A change in, we have a substitute teacher today, or we have a different babysitter today, or my favorite chair broke. Things that happen with people or objects in your environment that are unexpected. How can you help them deal with that? Changes in times, routines. We just had daylight savings time, and now I'm sure the TV programs changed times. There's times at school where there's announcements or a special event that disrupts the routine. And so that even when there's going to be exceptions to rules. Some days you have to change those rules because they're not working. Those are unexpected changes. How can you help them deal with those? I'm saying make the unpredictable predictable. Teach them how to problem solve. And then help them to learn how to express themselves when the unexpected happens. Let's start with making the unpredictable predictable. Make mistakes. Deliberately make mistakes in front of them. And use the same nonverbal gestures that most people make. Oh, I didn't expect that. Or, oh, that upsets me. Show them, and we'll get to that later. That's going to help them learn how to deal with it. And you're going to deal with everything as not getting mad, but oops, oh no, this happened. What am I going to do? And then you're going to model for them how it can be fixed. So oops just means, oh, I wasn't expecting that, but Oh, let's fix it. A mistake is just an opportunity to learn, and that's the message you want to send. I want to learn what I can do to fix it. This is where you teach them problem solving. You start with the problem, identify the problem. Oh, your favorite chair, it broke. Now what are we going to do? Well, let's see. Here's a possible way I could get the glue out and see if I can fix it myself. Well, if I can't, then maybe I could call someone that I know that's probably better at fixing things than I am. Offer them solutions. Don't tell them solutions. Offers them solutions, and then ask them, what do you think I should do? What would you like to try? Because you learn far more from trial and error than you do being told. Besides, no one really likes to be told. This is the response you're going to get when you're told what to do, and you don't have any control or say in how it happens. Is that stubborn? No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want it. It's not my idea. But when you give them choices, now you're engaging them and you're helping them to think and to learn. So let them choose and try out the solutions to those problems. All right. How can you model how to actually deal with the unexpected instead of getting upset and angry? Have them recognize when rules get broken. That's one of the things that makes me go, oh no. When schedule changes, that's another, oops, oh no, I wasn't expecting it. Changing our plans. Help them identify the things that trigger them in advance. So they're looking out for and watching for these triggers. They're going to be less surprised when things happen, especially if you practice make the unpredictable predictable. Then you teach them, okay, when you feel this way, here's what you do. We want to calm down and then think, because remember, we have to problem solve. If there's a problem, we have to think of how to fix it. But we can't do that till we calm down and think. And then if we don't know what our choices are, we need to ask. But we want to know what our choices are so we can choose to find a way to fix it. Teach them this sequence. Model this sequence when things go wrong and are unexpected. Help them to anticipate that these things can happen and they're going to make you upset. So here's how you deal with it. I want to note, always provide sufficient processing time when you're teaching any new skill. Because remember what I told you, the auditory processing area of the brain is less well developed in autistics. And for some individuals that I've worked with, it can take up to 15 seconds from the time I stop talking or saying something before they initiate a response. And that's how I measure processing time. So check that out in advance as well and make sure that you're giving them. I'm at least 3 seconds. If you don't give me the full 3 seconds, now I can't respond. I suddenly go silence because I keep expecting you to interrupt me again before I can. And then I'm so frustrated, I don't know what to do or say. These are some resources that might give you other ideas on problem solving, coping with change and transitions. And Making Sense of Autism, for which I work and Stacy is CEO, offers individual coaching. If you've got particular individual issues that you would like to discuss individually, we also provide trainings such as this short presentation for professional schools and groups that provide supports to autistic individuals. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.